Okay, so looks like we're live here. Yesterday I made a live to show the session to show the work I've been doing on this e-commerce template that has a very simple purpose to replace Shopify for people who only need a simple website for their for their printful account. And initially I coded the integration with like in a very basic way without following payload guidelines. And yesterday after I talked about it, I realized that it would be much more useful for me and for anyone else who wants to manage the content in payload and have an integration with printful. I thought it would be perfect. So yeah, I turned it into a payload plugin, and I have a first version working. So this is my payload admin panel, and from here, so just 1 second so I can close this and dive deeper into it. Yeah, so this is a fully fledged CMS for an e-commerce website that integrates flawlessly with Printful. In Printful, you will create your so the way it should work is the following. You create your inventory in Printful, and when you add a new product, you have this drop-down menu where you can see all the products in your Printful shop, and you select it here. Once you have selected it, it fetches the data with all the product variants and everything. You see it here. And of course, Printful doesn't handle payments. It only handles dispatching orders and printing. That's the entire idea of a print-on-demand service, but they don't handle payments. So we need Stripe for that. And this integration also connects with Stripe, where you have the option to create a new product or associate an already existing Printful product with a Stripe product. So in this case, just for the sake of the demo, I'm gonna put create a new Stripe product. And as you can see here, this is an oversized heavyweight hoodie, and from this entire JSON object we can see all the variants. So the moment when I click save, it will automatically create the yeah, I'll get to this in one moment. It will automatically create this Stripe product, and the product summary, this is only for reference. I'll get to that in one moment. And here we have the images and some product data. So if I refresh the page, I should have, yes. So first I have some general data about the Printful product, like the retail price, the status, whether it's synced or not, the catalog ID, and then I have the images for all the variants where I can easily select them. And once they are selected, they go directly onto the website. So I will show you that in one moment. For example, here these are directly the images from Printful, and uses nextjs blob cage, so there's no risk of overwhelming Printful API and being banned for that. variants are fetched automatically, and next step would be to do some work on the front end and match images with variants such that when you change the variant, changes the image automatically. Of course, you can add to cart, same functionality stayed as before. Another thing that I implemented and I have not mentioned yesterday was the user authentication part. And I'll try to show you this here. So every user has an account, can be authenticated, have an address on file, and also see all their orders. And I'm going to use the same printful plugin to fetch the order status so that everyone can just follow up on their on the fulfillment of their order. I think this is basic functionality for every e-commerce platform. Shopify does it, and as long as I can get that data from Printful, it's super useful to have it shown also to the customer. Things get close to getting to a full functional e-commerce with all the features. The final phase will be to implement all the UI and refine the transactional emails. And from that point on, I think another round of testing would be necessary. And yeah, but today the focus would be to go on. So the thing that I was preparing for today is setting up the order status on the product listing in the account tab for the customers. So I'm using cursor to prompt all this part, and yes, I changed my approach to using cursor. Now, before I implement a feature like that, I ask questions and I try to create a relevant context inside the chat so that the generated code matches my my code base. And I'm using Claude Sonnet 4.5 to create the plan for the project, and then I have a few other prompts that I run just before completing the plan, and then I just switch it to agent mode for the implementation. And once the implementation is done, I switch it back to Claude Sonnet 4.5 to make an assessment of the code, basically to check the way it was done. So I think I'm just gonna pick back up from where I left yesterday. So we have testing checklist, apply phase 1. Yes. Yeah, so last thing implemented was this part here. And I think there is another, here I have two systems for adding images. One, you either add it by selecting it directly from Printful, or you can simply add an image from the image library. So I will add this right now. And now that I added, I realized there is also a need to select, to associate it with a specific variant. Because the moment when I will have this matching between variant and image in the front end, I must allow the user as well to match the uploaded images to a specific variant. So in this case, I think it would be ideal to have a drop down for variant selection on each image module. So I'm looking into how I can insert that into the images. Then this column in the general data must be removed, the created column. I thought it is possible to fetch the creation date of a product in printful, but it's not. So, and it's also not necessary at the moment. So I'll just remove this column. So let's see. Okay. Okay, and here we have, can we use print? All right, yes, here I was preparing the order status updates in the account panel. And so the way I went about it, I took this printful quick reference, which acts as a sort of index for my for the refactoring plan of the payload integration plugin. It is indeed a refactoring. So I turned the previous code into a fully fledged plugin. So all that, like in the process, I have went through like a brainstorming session with Cloud Sonnet, where I devised a plan. I asked him to do research on the internet, find me the best way to best practices and best way to create a payload plugin. Came back up with an amazing research. Check this out, like printful integration deep dive. Looks amazing. Made mermaid diagrams and everything. Of course, I read through it briefly. I didn't read it fully, but I did get a good idea of what was about to happen. And it creates like all these documentation files, diagrams, and like this one is very interesting. For example, it shows the execution flow of my entire plugin. We can have a look at it just before I'm diving into the other aspects. So product creation flow. I'm just gonna close this file so that you can see it nice and large. Yeah, so how it goes. Printful integration architecture diagrams. So the editor, open the merge product, product option, checkout flow, order fulfillment flow. So data sync architecture. So printful API is the single source of truth. It fetches, sends data to Versal blob. It's read, then it's synchronized with the payload CMS. Then shows it in the front end, or yeah, here we have the payment processing where it creates a product and payload CMS creates these Stripe products. Then we have checkout and Stripe prices. So that's how it goes. And the plugin architecture, current versus proposed. So before I was using API routes and hooks and services. So now the plugin, printful sync plugin, augment collection, register component, merge collection, and the proposed architecture. I'd say things look much more neat now. And I should have a stab at implementing order status updates. Challenging the initial plan with Claude for Sonnet 4.5. Of course, it checks the documentation, and further, I'm trying to understand what happens here. Okay, the column is removed. So the reason why I wanted to have this overview is because you can see the synchronization status. You can see printful IDs, and then get an overview of the data. I'm thinking that perhaps we don't really need all the details from this product object, so we can remove some of them. In the meantime, I will investigate how I can add the product variant inside the product images module. One of the nice features implemented in Cursor recently is that you can basically fork any conversation into a separate chat, and that allows you to maintain some context. Maybe it also saves some tokens from being lost. And okay, this thing is coding, testing. Okay, so the initial plan seems to be sound, and I'm really curious about how this implementation will go now. So I will commit my changes. But before that, I just want to make a fork of this chat. Okay, seems like we have an error there. Node.js error is optional. No, hopefully it's temporary. And truth be told, I don't even need this embroidery information here. It's completely useless. So is this implemented? The question is. It doesn't seem so. Okay, in this case we can white text on a white background. So the way to go about implementing the second part of the API, I think I'll just go ahead and commit this change once it's done coding it, and I'll start implementing the labels. So I have to read through it first. I'm really wondering if this stream is still going, so let's try to see it. No. I want to enable the chat in this stream, so just give me a second, guys. I'm gonna do it right now. Is it made for kids? Maybe not. It's not necessary. Okay, cancel, save, customization. Oh, I cannot enable live chat now. Damn, I should have enabled it before, it seems. Okay, doesn't matter. but it is live, and if anyone gets to see it, that would be interesting. One chat messages, who chatted here? This is interesting. Right, anyway, back to our ship. So this entire module needs to be properly designed, so I think I can also just go ahead and change this text, because it seems my AI is struggling with something like that. Did it? I'm usually disabling the cage every time when I want to have... Oh, now it works. Very good. This is proper UI written by AI. So amazing, isn't it? Well, we have all these fields. Let's try it out with a different product as well. I have an iPhone tough case. This data, and by the way, I don't even have to link it already with a new product, because it's right here. Okay, this is still from the previous, because the product summary comes from Stripe, I think. So I'll just go ahead to the other tab, on the content tab, and yeah, there we go. We have all our variants here from all types of iPhones, which is quite amazing, isn't it? And I think it'd be nice also to have a download button, just in case I want to download it, edit, and then re-upload it. But another element that is super important to add would be this variant selector option on the image. So right now I'm just gonna go ahead and begin to implement it. And here, okay, tough case glossy iPhone variant ID. I'm wondering how I can do this. I need to associate a variant with a specific image. And then we have like retail price. This information needs to be larger. Yeah, so I'm gonna go here and ask. First of all, I need to commit these changes. This is how we commit nowadays. I'm not writing any more commit messages. And I let this thing go, and I'll be right back. Just one moment, running to the bathroom really quick. And it seems like this camera here, hello, there we go, we're back. It seems like this camera here can really track me around. Perfect. Works amazing. So every time when I get up from my computer, the camera will simply follow me around. And oh wow, it gets quite dark in here. Yeah, the camera will just follow me around and it gets stuck and it doesn't pick back up. So here it is. I brought it back to reality. What do we have? Damn, it's a bit crazy. Nobody's chatting here, guys. If anyone jumps in, please just send a message. Send me a hi on chat. Ask, what the fuck are you doing? What are you coding on? Why is this interesting for us to watch? I know, I'm just doing a simple live stream because I really think this thing is super cool and it's gonna be one of my first product to release, and it's also one way for me to be accountable and to be vulnerable and give like a glimpse into the process of doing it. It might look like I don't know what I'm doing and that's true. I didn't really fully grasp the complexities of my code base, but I'm in the process of, and I will not put it out there until I thoroughly understand it. That I can guarantee. And it's gonna have complete documentation for it will have complete documentation for all the APIs that I'm using, for all the other parts that are involved in the functionality. And I think it's gonna be really awesome and it's gonna save people some money, because if you want to do an experiment and just spin out a shop without having to pay the Shopify fee every month, I think that's a win. So why not have a cool shop that has all the features Shopify stores would have? I mean, not all, it's impossible, but if you only have a drop shipping business with print on demand, this is the way to go. There you go, you have your shop and you can use it and you can have your products out there, and it's going to be on a performant nextjs website, and you would have a nice backend made in payload that you can use, and you can manage your inventory on printful. It's pretty cool. So yeah, let's get back to work here. All set, everything committed. Perfect, amazing. Let's see if this build fails. So this context seemed to be quite overwhelmed by that time. Oh, it's okay. And this is the investigation const. Amazing. What else do you have? Pricing and availability, implementation plans. So I think I'm just gonna take the context from here, and I'm gonna duplicate the chat. Proof is worth pulling. All right, great. We have this context. Great. And now I'm just gonna switch back to my dear friend Sonnet 4.5, and let's see what we're gonna cook now. Back here. So what I wanted to do, I want to have this entire part. So we are adding images. So we have two use cases. One when we are completely satisfied with the images from printful. Oh, what is this issue? Unexpected. Oh, what is this? Of course, if the server is stopped, it will not work. No, server was not stopped. And here we listen to the webhook from Stripe. All right, let's get back to this internal server error. These things are sometimes unexpected and slightly annoying. Merge. Oh, a product with no name. Let's give it a name. Oversized heavy hoodie and untitled product. Thing is, on Stripe, I'll just take this name from here. And save. Okay, so now I'll explain to this agent what I'm trying to do. But I'll go directly with Claude Sonnet 4.5. Context seems quite large, and I'm really wondering if I should not start. Actually, I'm gonna do just that. I'm gonna start a new. I'll keep that context, but I'm gonna start a completely new chat. Okay, this needs to be implemented. We're gonna get to that. I don't want to implement two things at the same time because things might break, and I might want to really focus on understanding what's happening. Providing for figuring out what I was trying to do here. Okay, yes, here I restored the orders, creating a completely new context for my, but you know, just let's try. Let's see what's the suggestion in this case. And here we actually need to, I figure that it's much better to proceed in ask mode every time when you want to implement a feature, because this will create the context necessary for generating relevant code. So this is how I would work with an experienced developer as well. I would ask him, hey, can you investigate and see what is the most optimal way to achieve this functionality? And then he will eventually come up with a plan that is worth implementing. And now I'm really questioning if this is a good plan. Let's challenge him. Okay, I might have to go soon, so I think I'll wrap up this session very soon, but not before I finish with this. There you go. Becomes interesting to see how prompting is one essential tool for coding. Okay, let's investigate this part before we proceed with the implementation. I'm wondering if I should let Cloud Sonnet implement this part. This seems to be taking a while. Only 3 to do items. Okay, when this thing is done implementing, I'm gonna switch to implementing this feature where, as I said before, we have the account. Seems to be broken right now. It seems to be very broken. Not much happening here. Product image variant select. Okay, work in progress being done here. Linked variants JSON. Okay, components. So it's not possible to actually use. This is so strange. Why I can't use a component from payload instead? I wouldn't like variant ID. I would prefer a variant name associated to it. But fine, let's say it's variant ID. I just want to test and see how that looks like. What in the world is this? Okay, import map. And this is our variant selection. Doesn't look very clean to me. I'm really wondering what's the way to okay, things start to look a little bit better here. But no. Okay, did I not explain it correctly? I'm gonna try to explain it a little bit more clearly. And this part here, it's messing up the validation. Might not be this the product, in fact. Let me look again. No, close. But I need a way to see the data in the front end. So in order to do that, I would have to add another piece of code that either outputs the data in the console or does something to show it to me. So pages and shop. Okay, so this is my product. Now if I go here, why do I still see this? This should not be here anymore. Oh well, oh well, oh well. Might be in the cage somewhere. Let's just change it to something else. 916, different size. Select the variant and we publish the changes. Is there a cage that is messing up my just to make sure this is the data that I'm pushing to the front end. No, why is that? Makes no freaking sense. No, this needs more work. And now we have our image. Wait, but where are all the other images? What is going on? No, my request was not properly understood by dear ChatGPT. What a funny failure. Ah, wait. All the other images got deselected. So let's get back to selecting them. How many do I have here? 1, 2, okay, only one from that one. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh yeah, that looks good. And then add a custom image. Choose from existing, and I will take one at 69. That's a lot. 4, 3, and black S. Publish changes. What do we have here now? Ooh, okay, we're getting somewhere. So if I do S, black, white, yeah, I need to refine this part, but there is some logic in here in the front end that will match. For example, if I do navy and I do L, S, there you go. This is my S navy, and it matches the form. So in the end, I did get the functionality. So this is black. Okay, we can test further. So let's close this. Let's add another image. And we will do choose from existing, and we will do 1, 1. And let's select the navy M and publish. And let's see how this looks like right now. So we have navy. Yeah, it works, it selects it. I'm still thinking what is the best way to figure out this variant matching pattern. I think the UI it still needs some improvements here. So for now, I'm just gonna let it like that, and I'll move on to the next thing. I'm gonna commit these changes. I know, perhaps this is some slop here in the code, but functionality-wise, it's achieved. It works. It does what's supposed to be doing. So I can just go ahead and focus on another aspect of this implementation. So here, I'll tell him, okay, go ahead and commit. And from here on, I'll just ask Cloud Sonnet 4.5 to implement this feature because it's quite important. It needs to be done right. And I think best I let Cloud Sonnet do it instead of the other junior agent. Or shall we try with that? next moves. Let's see, hopefully it's gonna be implemented by the time the commit completes. Okay, I have a sauna session at 6:30, so I should get ready for that. Nice, and git push directly. And then I'm gonna use Cloud Sonnet 4.5 to check on it. I think, guys, I'm gonna come back with updates. I'll bring some updates in the coming days, because right now, you know, work is still in progress, and they don't really look like they're in a very refined state at the moment. Still looks messy, but hey, it's a big leap forward, I think, from the previous implementation, and things seem to be working fine. They're performant, and I think this plugin, I will be able to share it once I'm done. And I think it's great, and it will be packaged also as a product that you can go ahead and buy and use for yourself with a beautiful template. And that part is still in progress. So I'll catch up with you again in a day or two.